So when we talk about the future of the JRPG, it's pretty easy to point to bigger budgets, flashier visuals, or the next big sequel from an established name. But real evolution, the kind that shakes a genre awake, comes from something a little deeper. It comes from creativity, risk-taking, and a real willingness to reshape familiar ideas. So, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 embodies exactly that spirit. It's not just another stylish JRPG, it's a bold reimagining of what the genre could be, blending beloved old school traditions with sharp modern innovations in a way that is genuinely exciting. First off, we have a battle system that actually feels fresh. JRPGs have struggled for a long time with combat feeling either too automated or too formulaic. You're either mashing through turn-based menus or stuck in another flashy but kind of empty action system. Expedition 33 strikes a pretty good balance. Its combat layers turn-based strategy with a rhythmic, almost tactile timing mechanic. Think turn-based Foundations, but injected with a real sense of agency during battle. Precise blocks, carefully timed attacks. Your skill, moment to moment, matters just as much as your party composition and overall strategy. Dude, there's been so many times where like I would dodge, right? I'd get a perfect dodge or a perfect parry, and I would take my eyes off for a second because I thought the enemy was done with their attack, or I was just kind of zoning out for a second. No, you really don't want to zone out. You'll probably die. It makes battle feel alive without losing the cerebral kind of planning that defines what JRPGs do best in their combat. It's turn-based with momentum. Something that a lot of games have tried and fumbled, but Clair Obscur seems to get it right. So characters evolve emotionally and mechanically. Skills aren't just unlocked, they're earned through moments in the story, through exploration, through making choices that feel very personal. By the way, if you hear my voice go out, it's because I've been super duper sick with, I think, bronchitis. The doctor doesn't think so. So my voice might be going out a little bit. There's a lot of customization with the character progression. You find skills, you find passives, there's hundreds of passives, it seems like. I don't know if there's actually hundreds. But there's skill trees, and you know, if you're watching this, you kind of have a good idea of what Clair Obscur is offering as far as progression goes. And there's a lot of depth to it. You can really kind of flesh out the character the way that you want your character to play. Me, I kind of have everybody just as an all-arounder, but I do have certain elements and certain like defensive characters, offensive characters, kind of tanky characters. But you can kind of make it however you want, and I think that's really cool. And I think that is what JRPGs need, is a little more flexibility in how you kind of build out your characters and your party, because it's needed. It's very exciting. It doesn't sound like something crazy because this is a system that's been in Western games for a long time and some Eastern games, but it's implemented so well in Clair Obscur that it kind of feels like a revelation. Also, I want to point out something else. It might seem like something minor to call attention to, and that's the overworld. And yeah, sure, that's kind of like a simple thing, right? But in today's JRPGs, it's almost a lost art. The overworld in Clair Obscur isn't just a nostalgia trip, it's a design philosophy. It brings back this feeling of like true adventure. A world that stretches beyond these kind of narrow corridors that you kind of start out with in these scripted set pieces. You're not funneled from event to event. You are traveling, you're discovering, you're feeling the scale of the journey you're on. Overworlds are fundamentally about freedom, about a world that breathes and kind of sprawls in every direction. So Clair Obscur remembers that, and it feels revolutionary even though it's not. It's just a lot of RPGs today have become checklist-driven theme parks. And that's fine if you're in a theme park mood. But for me, this is how you evolve the genre, or build upon it, maybe. It would be easy and safe to set Clair Obscur in another high fantasy kingdom or a cyberpunk cityscape that we've seen 100 times. But Expedition 33 dares to create a completely original and unique setting that feels truly different, set in this surreal, dreamlike version of post-impressionist Europe. The world is painted, literally. The line between real and imagination is blurred. Towns are drenched in impossible colors. Massive brushstrokes sweep across landscapes, and even the enemies you fight feel like fragments of lost art. The story is just as daring. A looping tragedy where every year an enigmatic force known as the Paintress erases people from existence. Not through war or plague, but simply by unmaking their reality with a brushstroke. Your expedition is humanity's last desperate attempt to break the cycle before your entire world is forgotten and erased. It's a setting and a story that feels both mythic and deeply human. Sorry, my voice is going out. And most importantly, it's new. It's weird, it's risky, it's so surreal that it's perfect to me. This isn't fantasy comfort food. It's the kind of imaginative world building that sticks with you the way classic RPG settings once did. It's completely unique. You have not played a game with a setting like Clair Obscur. It's completely unlike anything else I've ever played before. Maybe the biggest surprise of all, Clair Obscur doesn't fall into the trap that has plagued so many JRPGs before it. You know the feeling, stories are meant to be emotional, right? But end up feeling super melodramatic, dialogues that sounds like stilted or corny when that actually is spoken out loud. And that's fine, there is a charm to that, I do like that. But Expedition 33 could have easily gone that route. Instead, it delivers something genuinely beautiful and heartbreaking. The writing is restrained, personal, and deeply human. And a huge part of why it works is the acting. The facial animations capture these tiny flickers of emotion. The characters talk over each other. They don't wait for somebody to get, if there's a disagreement, they don't wait for Gustav to finish his point, and then you make your point, and then Gustav waits for you to finish, and then they don't take turns. They talk over each other like a real conversation would. It's such a small and subtle detail, but it's so reflective of real life. The voice acting is phenomenal, grounded, believable, and definitely filled with vulnerability. This subtle, powerful performance style sells the entire world. It makes you believe in the stakes, in the grief, and the stubborn hope that keeps the expedition moving forward. It's a masterclass in how important good acting and expression are for storytelling. And it shows that JRPGs can tell mature and devastating stories without ever slipping into cringe or overreacting. You know, I was always interested in Clair Obscur because I love JRPGs, and if you've been a part of this channel, you know I love them. But it would have been so easy, and I'm talking like, trust me, they made right decisions at every turn developing this game, because it could have been so easy for this game to slip into just pure corniness. Like there's a paintress who and it's counting down and people are getting Thanos snapped, and it's like, all right, dude, that's kind of, it'd be hard to suspend your disbelief. Is that the saying? It would be hard to suspend belief. Is it belief or disbelief? Whatever. It'd be hard to buy it. But with the acting and the writing and the dialogue and the, I'm assuming, mocap, motion capture, it makes it so believable that it does not fall into corniness or melodramatic, drama-filled, soap opera status, which it easily could have. And that's just a testament to the actors, to the writers, and just everybody on the team who really, small team, who made this game come to life. Now, the music of Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 deserves just as much praise as the story or the visuals or the combat. Simply put, this is one of the most beautiful and unique video game soundtracks I've ever heard. And this is something that I think JRPGs are particularly known for, is having these great scores instead of relying on predictable. My voice is going out. I'm leaving that in. Instead of relying on predictable orchestral swells or generic battle themes, the score feels like an extension of the painted world itself, layered, textured, and full of color. The game is so freaking cohesive across every layer of development. So cohesive, such a strong vision. It comes through in every aspect of the game. Sweeping violins blur into haunting piano melodies. Distant choirs hum like fading memories. Even in combat, the music pulses with an emotional weight that elevates every battle decision that you make. It makes you feel so epic. It doesn't just set a mood, it tells part of the story. Expedition 33's soundtrack stands out by being poetic, intimate, and totally unforgettable. For years, people have been writing the obituary for turn-based RPGs. Trust me, as a fan, a super fan of the genre, I know this for a fact. Big publishers have basically said, turn-based games don't really sell anymore. And if they do sell, it's because it's lightning in a bottle, like a Persona 5. We've seen massive franchises like Final Fantasy pivot away from their roots, chasing fully driven action systems in fear that players won't just sit still for strategic combat anymore. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, it just demolishes that myth entirely. It's a fully turn-based RPG at heart, and it's completely thriving. The last I checked, it sold over 1 million copies. It's obviously more than that now because that was a few days ago. The game's strong sales numbers and its off-the-chart Metacritic score proves something important. It was never about turn-based combat being outdated. It's about how you design it. When you make battles engaging, when you innovate instead of stagnate, when you pair smart combat with emotional storytelling and bold world building, players will show up for that time and time again. It's proven. Expedition 33 is living proof that the turn-based RPG isn't dead. They just needed to evolve. Ultimately, Clair Obscur feels like the future because it isn't afraid. It's not trying to blindly copy Final Fantasy or to retread aesthetics that have been known to the genre for decades. It's building something new, something strange and beautiful, a concoction of old and new, and this is what I've been trying to hammer home for so long. Its world design leans into surreal, painterly art direction, evoking dreamscapes instead of just another medieval village. Its mechanics dare to hybridize, and that is a word, systems most studios are too afraid to touch. It experiments with mood and tone and player interaction at a time when JRPGs are scared to even tweak their random encounter rate. This willingness to change the formula without losing the soul of what makes a turn-based JRPG style game special. That word was special. This is why Clair Obscur feels like more than just a promising new IP. It feels like a mission statement that the genre can still surprise us still move forward, and still dream bigger. Expedition 33's success is a message to the entire genre and to every developer and publisher. Players are ready. They are ready for boldness. And with its commercial success and critical acclaim, it forces the entire genre to take notice. The future of JRPGs belongs to the dreamers, not the imitators. All right, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Are you guys enjoying Clair Obscur Expedition 33? I'm like 3/4 of the way through the game. I've been really taking my time, and also I've been super duper sick, if you can't tell. I have a sneeze coming on right now. But I felt like I needed to record. I haven't recorded in a while, so yeah, let me know. Are you guys enjoying Clair Obscur? Is this style, not necessarily aesthetic wise, but design philosophy wise, is this the future of the JRPG? Because let's be real, if you're a fan of the genre, you know that it can feel a little stagnant, a little formulaic, and I feel like this is just such a statement that if you just inject a little bit of creativity and risk taking into turn-based RPGs, people will flock to it. Make a good game and people will flock to it. It's always been that way. If your game is trash, people aren't going to play it. People make excuses for this and that and whatever. It's that simple. Make something people want to play. Innovate, create. Yeah, whatever. I'm tangenting now. And that's definitely a word. All right. I have to go blow my nose now. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Have a great day and God bless.